we've inherited this huge, but quite wonderful wisteria. Wisterias are fantastic because they grow over things without really breaking them. They don't really do damage. When people think about plants growing against walls, they think automatically, oh, it's going to pull all my plaster out, all my mortar out, my bricks are going to suffer. Well, wisterias don't do that. They're quite good, but they produce fantastic flowers. You can leave them and just leave them and let them grow like this has grown for several years, untouched really. But you can also improve the flowers by pruning the thing. Now you prune wisteria twice a year. We're talking about the late summer pruning, which is the end of August, early September. And you can see there are two different kinds of wood. This is all 1 year's growth. All this going all the way back to here. And you see this older wood here, and it's got another new bit off it there. Can you see? Another new bit, and then finally the last new bit on the end of this long stem. This is old wood going all the way back, and you've got two sets of new wood coming off it and a little twiglet at the end. Now the idea is that the very end of this plant, that very end there, that growing tip, right at the very end, is producing hormones, just that little bit, that controls the rest of the plant. Now if you think about all of the little tips in this huge plant, there's a lot of hormones flying around this thing. This wants to grow, and it says to the plant, I'm growing. All of the other tips, the new ones, this one says, I'm growing. This one says, I'm growing. When plants grow, they don't tend to flower. So if we cut off its supply of hormone, you get more flowers. The plant thinks, oh, I'm being eaten. Doesn't think really, but that's the effect. I'm being eaten. Let's produce flowers. We can produce seed and go and grow somewhere else. So we can use that to our advantage. Late summer pruning, you find new growth and cut it back. Find out where it goes to the old stem, and you're going to cut it back to within a foot of that old stem, so 30 centimetres from the old stem. So we're going to cut it off just there. And now we've got this. That can be composted. Now automatically now we've said to that bit of that branch, no more hormones. We're going to get more flowers here next year. So same with this one. Let's go back, find out where it goes to the old stem and cut it off to within a foot of it. It might seem as though you're being really harsh, but you're not really. There's the old stem. There's the old stem. There's the new growth. So let's cut it back to there. We have the benefit here of last year's pruning. This is a spur that was cut back to within a foot of the old wood, which is here. And now we've got growing on the end of that this year's growth. I'm going to cut this to within a foot of the old wood. So we're going to cut it here. Move the leaf out of the way. And there we have it. Now it's doing two things. We carry on doing this through the plant, finding the new growth, cutting it back to within a foot of the old growth. Then we're aerating the whole plant, with allowing more air. We're stopping it from being so bushy, because it's quite a bushy plant, this one. So you're cutting this thing back quite drastically. And again, in February, we're going to cut it back quite drastically. But it's going to come back. Never fear. The stronger you prune, the better the plant comes back. And that's what will happen with this one. When we've finished pruning this back, you won't see much difference now, because all we're doing is taking this new growth back, allowing some air and light into the system, and then in the depth of winter, when we cut it right harsh back, we're going to have a plant that is full of flowers. They're brilliant things. I just love them, but they do need a little bit of care.